Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here. Today we are looking at the highly anticipated David Mazzucchelli Artist Edition Batman Year 1 from IDW, edited by Scott Dunbier. It is huge, it is gorgeous, it is here. That is what we're looking at today. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button and let's get right into it. Alright, if you watch my channel, you know I love artist editions. Artist editions are basically the original art from comic books scanned in from the original boards, not just black and white, but completely scanned in. So you see like the tears, the eraser marks, the coffee stains, as if on cue on the cover, right? This is David Mazzucchelli's Batman Year 1, written by Frank Miller. 4-issue miniseries that came out, 40 plus years ago, not long after The Dark Knight Returns, and DC kind of rebooted the universe, and Frank Miller did this miniseries with David Mazzucchelli after working together on Daredevil, Born Again, creating a lot of buzz and furor. This book is so huge, you guys. In comparison, I just so happen to have a regular size comic book here, and wow, it is big. So, comics are drawn larger, obviously, and perhaps this was drawn a little bit larger, because sometimes they do what is called twice up, which is like, comic book boards are generally 11 by 17. Look at the beautiful beauty of this cover. Beautiful beauty. It's big, but it's also thick like this. It's so amazing. What a gorgeous back cover. Batman Year 1, 4-issue miniseries that spanned over the course of the Batman regular titles like Batman and Detective. Originally pitched, David Mazzucchelli gets into this in the introduction, but originally pitched as a prestige format. Denny O'Neil kind of wanted the sales in the regular monthly titles to get an elevation and not just a special project. This is from the end papers. I almost gasped when I opened this. This is gorgeous. This is from one of the covers of Year 1, and it is so cool. Mazzucchelli talks about wanting to sort of do a modern version of Bob Kane, if not a copy of it, and I think a lot of that shows. He also talks about the fact that people are surprised that Toth isn't one of his huge influences. And looking at the cover, I guess I never really dwelled on it or made a huge connection before, but seeing the cover, I instantly saw Toth. So I was a little surprised to find out that he wasn't a huge influence. He was going for a more simplified, he wanted to give a classic look, something timeless. I think he achieved it on so many levels. It is timeless. People regard this just so highly as one of the best Batman stories ever. It is beautifully illustrated, colored by his wife Richmond Lewis. And it's very interesting because it came out at a time when comic book printing was really bad, and but they were kind of improving with paper quality and design. So, but he talks about how this book was the book you were never meant to see, because it only really tells 2/3 of the story, because he considers the coloring such a strong part of the storytelling in Batman Year 1, and I found that very interesting. So, I mean, just looking at these design sheets and everything, look at that gorgeous Batman. This is incredible. But gosh darn it, it does scream Alex Toth to me, See what I mean? That's as if we had the actual artboard. I love that it's a little bit larger. I'm guessing that some of the pages might be drawn larger. I think that happened with one of my other ones, maybe the John Buscema one. I don't remember correctly, but I just love seeing that. I love seeing some of the pencil design work there. This is the series that was meant for me. If I were 12 years old and this came out as an aspiring artist, I would have just died to see all this process. This is a masterclass in art education, just seeing all these storyboarding basically, and the thumbnailing, and it is so tight and so amazing. it's almost more detailed than what we see on the actual page. So that's kind of fascinating. I love seeing Catwoman flying through Gotham City fire escapes, and it is just so beautiful. It just feels like a real privilege to be able to, see all this behind the scenes stuff, up close and personal, design notes, if they are present, and things like that. There was a fan made Batman book that I covered on my project. I think it was called Batman Year Wah, but I actually contributed it to it. So we basically just did our own version of the whole series. You could copy or change as much as you wanted to, and I did a couple of Catwoman pages, and it came out really cool. I was really happy to be proud of it, and I was also very happy to see that the pages I homaged are in here, so I will point them out when it comes up. People just are nuts for David Mazzucchelli, and I can see why. He's such a great storyteller. His line work is beautiful. His inking is beautiful. He just hits on all cylinders. I just love something like this with an open panel at the bottom that, is using the actual page as part of the storytelling. I also found it kind of interesting that, he had a very different perspective looking back on this as a 25-year-old artist. And my God, to be 25 years old and to be able to produce work of this, like, quality and depth. I mean, there's a maturity to it as well. You know what I mean? There's sort of like a confidence or like an ease of like storytelling. Like, look at that. But I guess, like the synergy of working with Frank Miller, first of all, as a writer, and having worked together already on Daredevil. I mean, my gosh, what a great precursor to this. Batman and Daredevil kind of go hand in hand. This is so iconic. I love it. It's so interesting because I can see it in color in my head. And the colors really are such an integral part of this story. But this is just breathtakingly beautiful in black and white. I just absolutely adore it. Is this possibly... I think we're coming up to my page. I don't know. Anyway, I love... I don't know. It seems kind of interesting that to change Catwoman to like a hooker or a madam or whatever, but I guess it kind of makes sense. So much black, so much. I mean, this really is just beautiful black and white artwork. It is just stunning. These books are hella expensive, mind you, but so well worth it. And like the storage space, forget about it. Like that is what actually would be a great idea for a Kickstarter, is to design like the perfect bookcase for artist editions or something like that. I would be 100% behind that because I know a few people who probably need one. Anyway, so this is Scott Dunbier's penultimate artist edition for IDW. This is basically his brainchild, his baby. He started these artist editions. Bless him for that. Like, my favorite thing ever. This Batman just pops out. I love the thumbnails. Like, there's so much goodness that comes from the minutia of thumbnail sketches that, like I said, this is just a masterclass. Drink it in, y'all. Anyway, so Scott worked for years and years at IDW doing great things, basically mostly known for his artist editions. Quite a feat, quite a monumental body of work. Very sad when he announced that he was leaving IDW, but I was low-key hoping it was to start his own publishing thing, and it is with Act 4, and he's taking the concept of artist editions with him. There will be one more from IDW, and actually that is the one that I have dreamed about since I knew the concept existed, and what a swan song to go on is Paul Smith's X-Men artist edition coming out in September. I cannot wait for that. I cannot wait. I am gonna like cry and sleep with it and just love it. But then, so he's doing other things and doing a Jason Pearson body bags, artist edition, which I cannot wait for. So can't wait to see the other great things that he has coming. I love stuff like this in the artist editions. MAZZUCCHELLI also talks about like a lot of the production. So much done is like a lot of trickery and like, just like slapping shit on the page that doesn't come through in the production, but is like a necessary part of the production. Like, I love this vellum overlay. Like, that is so cool to get to see like the distinction between that and that. I mean, this is one of the most iconic covers ever. It's no wonder people love Batman. He is just so cool. Simple use of just like simple shapes and like just like striking black and white. You can't go wrong. And let's talk about Gotham City. I mean, Gotham City is such a great part of the cast of, of the characters, or whatever I'm trying to say, rambling. But, you know what I mean? It's just as much a part of the mythos as anything else. Like, it is such a perfect backdrop. MAZZUCCHELLI also talked about in the introduction how he felt like he didn't take very many chances. Like, he took pretty stagnant, like, camera angles and not a lot of dynamic perspective or things like that, and probably guessing like to keep it timeless. And it's interesting because this is pre-image in a way. I mean, but that said, it's like you get very like, but this shows like the level of quality and like what he's not considering very exciting. You're getting like this bird's eye view of Commissioner Gordon, coming up the steps, and technically that's not easy to draw. He talked about wishing he would have maybe not done it so realistically, because once he drew 3 teenagers fighting on the fire escape as if on cue, thank you for that, Frank kept trying to find new ways to push the envelope and challenge him artistically, which on one hand, that's kind of a dick move, but on the other hand, that is like the best gift you can possibly give an artist. Just like, I can imagine it only helped him grow in leaps and bounds. And like, it really is, as much as artists, drawing for yourself is like the most gratifying thing and usually provides, the best results. But there's something to be said about collaboration too. I mean, if somebody can get you to inspire you to pull something out of your talent pool that you didn't even know existed, then that's magic. See, this page clearly was drawn larger than a normal page, like than this one. And he might have went back and forth. Eric Larson is, what do you call it? Coming out with I forgot, Vault Edition or something like that of Dragon, and he draws a lot of them really huge. That's the other thing. Like, these books are not easy to produce. Like, I thought there was a little damage in the front. I mean, it looked like a little warped tiny bit, but I was just like, I am not sending this back. Just for minimal. But like, I mean, the risk factor of damage when you get a book this huge, like these are hard to keep in mint condition. They come in like a cardboard box that you can kind of keep them in, and I do, until I get that coveted artist edition exclusive bookcase that we all need, right? I mean, what a great series. Batman, Frank Miller, David Mazzucchelli. I mean, just magic, complete magic here. It's so interesting too because I like that he, just very artistically, this is so like super artistically focused, and just like reading about his process and like his thought process of like knowing that this had the potential to be an artistic, like, mic drop, like going in and like succeeding at that is kind of cool. Like, he worked really hard on this. You can see from the production thumbnails and layouts and things like that. And just like all of this is just so beautiful. It's like such an amazing body of work. 4 issues. And is it all here? It feels like almost all of it is here. Like, that's the thing, especially the older the book, like, original art gets scattered. You know, they didn't really cherish, or, you know, he even talks about that. Like, we didn't care what the original boards look like. Nobody's supposed to see them. The printed page is what matters. So then the only thing with that is, like, you're left with, like, really ugly pages with tape on them and ballpoint pen marks and stuff. Okay, so this is one of the pages that I homaged from, what do you call it? My Batman Year Wa fan of bootleg, whatever. That might still be available for sale, although I think it's sold out. But the other reason that I chose this page for 2 reasons. Most specifically, because it had the most iconic shots of Catwoman that I could find in the series. And it also has the Hopper's Diner, which I changed the waiter into Joker inside, and I thought it was really cool and funny, and I was really proud of myself for doing that. So sometimes you just gotta pat yourself on the back, right? And then this was my other page, and the colors were crazy, and I just loved it, and I thought it was a lot of fun, and I was so happy to be part of that. And as an artist, you know, the way I approached it, a lot of people were doing crazy takes or like really different things, and mine was just more focused on, I don't know, just like, I didn't change the layout at all. I was like, I cannot do a layout better than David Mazzucchelli's, so I just went for a different color palette and a little bit of bizarro humor. What a gorgeous page here, too. I mean, pretty iconic, like just very, and very, very like much speaks to the relationship with Frank Miller here, right? I mean, this page could easily be out of Sin City. The stark black and white is just so cool. I just love it. It's so effective. What a great, brilliant, beautiful book. Expensive at $150. But, you know, if you have a subscription or a pull list, you can get 20% off like I did. And who knows, maybe in stock trades or not. What's that other one? Cheap graphic novels? I don't know. Oh, so there's another panel with the Hopper Diner in it. What the hell? My page is more iconic. It's all over the place. Even this panel here, like, I don't know, as an artist, I hate to draw this kind of very realistic. I mean, could you imagine a full file cabinet with 9 files in it, and that's just one of the elements in the room? That's why when you learn how to draw, kids, do yourself a favor, learn how to draw everything, because you're going to have to learn how to draw everything in a realistic comic book if you want to draw comic books. That's just the way it is. Now, wow, this see, it's very interesting because I think that, and this speaks to the nature of older comic books, you know, it is very straightforward, very like camera A, very like front facing throughout the whole thing. So then when you get a page like this is a mic drop. This is a showstopper. In a way, I wish it didn't have these panels over it, but in a way, it just kind of makes it cool. It just makes like an effective use of space and still having it like be kind of dynamic at the same time. You know what I'm talking about? This is so much fun. I want to color it. I just could you imagine I just grab a box of like Crayola markers and just start having at it like I lost my mind or whatever. I love a good silhouette, and wow, I don't think it gets much better than that. I love a good cityscape too. So this is so much fun. And this is just Batman Year One. Like, they need to do like a new one together. Someone pointed out the fact that it was kind of interesting to note that there's no like a foreword or anything from Frank Miller in here. But my argument for that is that, you know, Frank takes up a lot of, what do you call it, airspace. So it's like he's so much bigger than life, and there are so many other ways to celebrate him. This is David Mazzucchelli's art that we are celebrating here, and it's focused on him as it should be. I mean, another horrifying thing to have to draw, like, besides a baby, is like a fight on a bridge. Oh my gosh, that is incredible. Look at that perspective. That is amazing. I don't know. You know, it is simple and almost stagnant in a way, but this is how you get action into a comic book on a 2D page. I don't know. It just looks so well. The flow of this is just completely gorgeous. I love it. Simplicity, you know, it's like, that's what I love about art in comic book art. You know, it's like you can go from the detailed, you know, the mind-blowing detail of someone like Stephen Platt or Art Adams or Jeff Darrow, and then you have the gorgeous simplicity of an Alex Toth or a David Mazzucchelli. I love that too. I love that it's just basically like probably like a simple photocopy. Like he probably just whipped that up as a mock-up, and that's like a, I don't know, Xerox paper or something. Xerox. Did I just speak a different language? Oh, that is so gorgeous. And perfect. I mean, if you needed to see how much color may or may not have added to the story, there you go. Look how beautiful that is. These artist editions are so good. Congratulations, Scott Dunbier. What a way to go out. I mean, this is amazing. Get ready for your next Eisner already. I mean, this is beautiful. This is like the gift to the comic book art world right here. These are gorgeous books. I'm so happy they exist. They're completely amazing. Well worth every penny. So gorgeous. Cannot wait for the Paul Smith one. Cannot wait for the Jason Pearson one. They do have smaller, like, artisan editions of these. This will probably be a good one for that. Way more manageable and just as stunning. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you pick this up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button, and I will bring you more soon.